In this paper, we attempt to find out whether there were any changes in the spatial distribution of COVID 19 cases in India and also if it is linked to the process of migration. So, therefore, the paper is Lockdown Migrants and the Spatial Distribution of COVID 19 Cases in India. The sudden announcement of lockdown in India from 25th March 2020 led to several unintended adverse consequences, one of it being the crisis of migrant workers who were stranded at their place of work without any work or resources. The human dimension of the migrant worker crisis has been well documented. However, the focus of our study would be on another aspect, which is the change in the spatial distribution of COVID 19 active cases in India due to the introduction of Shramik trains. In particular, we examine the following given three hypotheses. The first hypothesis being if there was any change in spatial distribution in COVID 19 cases, particularly in eastern and northeastern states, was there any rise in the COVID 19 cases? The second hypothesis is whether this increase in COVID 19 cases was associated with the introduction of the Shramik trains. And the third hypothesis is that the incidence of COVID 19 active cases is higher in districts with high outmigration rates. For this purpose, we use data from the following sources. The active cases per million persons is taken from www.covid19india.org, which is a publicly available website. The migration data is taken from NSSO report, and the control variables mentioned later is taken from district census handbooks. We use various spatial, statistical, and other econometric methods, which are discussed shortly later. To begin with the first hypothesis of whether regional distribution of COVID 19 cases has changed, we look on in the following graph. We particularly focus in the green and the red lines. If we see the green line, we see that the northeastern states started experiencing a rise in the COVID 19 cases, active cases since June. But eastern states experienced a rise only after July. So it seems that the regional distribution of COVID 19 cases started to change in northeastern states since June and in eastern states since July. With the help of choropleth maps for May, June, July, and August, we observe that the districts in green zone starts to disappear with time. Districts in green represents very low incidence of COVID-19, whereas the orange and red colors indicate high incidences of active COVID-19 cases. So what we observe is that the districts in green zone starts to disappear with time, which indicates that active cases are rising. The green zone in northeast India and in the belt near Bengal has disappeared almost in July and completely by August, indicating the spread of pandemic to the eastern and northeastern parts of the country. We start to see appearances of orange zones in some parts of northeast India as well. So the pandemic has started to pace up in eastern and northeast India. Next, we use Moran's eye to get an idea about the spatial distribution for active COVID 19 cases in India. The LISA, or Local Indicator of Spatial Autocorrelation, identifies districts exhibiting spatial autocorrelation with their neighboring districts. The estimates for Moran's eye indicates the presence of a concentrated spatial distribution of COVID 19. In May, low incidence of COVID 19 indicated by the blue clusters are observed in eastern and northeastern India and belt around Chhattisgarh. However, in August, this low cluster in eastern and northeastern India disappears. Also, some high clusters are observed in Mumbai, Madhya Pradesh, Telangana, and Orissa belt. The problem with Moran's eye statistic is that it does not allow for the identification of presence of significant spatial clusters for each location. Therefore, we have to use an alternative method to identify hotspots using the JETIS or GID statistic. Knox 1989 defines hotspots as a geographically and or temporally bounded groups of occurrences of sufficient size and concentration to be unlikely to have occurred by chance. The GI star statistic detects a district as a hotspot given two conditions. First, if the values of the particular district is higher than the national average, and second, if the contiguous regions also have similar higher than national averages. Using JETIS or GI star statistic, we identify hotspots. We observe that although the number of hotspots fell slightly in June, which is represented by red, but it is estimated to increase by around 53% from 76 districts to 116 districts during the study period from April to August 2020. Coming to the second hypothesis, where we want to find out whether the increase in COVID 19 cases is associated with the introduction of Shramik trains. We have used the interrupted time series model. It's a tool suitable for evaluating the effectiveness of a large scale public health intervention or shocks at a population level in the presence or absence of a suitable counterfactual. In the present case, the starting of the Shramik trains on 1st May and the unlock dates with a 14-day lag each, that is on 15 June and 15 July, are taken as shocks or interventions. The intercept variables with beta 3, beta 5, and beta 7 gives the immediate treatment effect, that is the change in intercept due to the shock on May 15th and on 1st May, 15 June, and 15 July, respectively. Whereas beta 4, beta 6, and beta 8 represents treatment effect over time or the change in the slopes following the interventions once again on 1st May, 15 June, and 15 July, respectively. This model is estimated for West Bengal, Bihar, Jharkhand, Orissa, and Assam. What we observe next is very interesting. Although we found out that in the first hypothesis that there is indeed a change in the regional distribution of the pandemic, with the pandemic spreading to eastern and northeastern regions, these graphs will validate our case that these changes are indeed related to migration. The three dotted lines in each graph represents the interventions on 1st May, 15 June, and 15 July, respectively. We observe from the graphs of the ITS model that the spikes from the reverse migration on 15 June are not very apparent for the states of West Bengal, Bihar, Jharkhand, Chhattisgarh, and Odisha. However, after unlock 2, represented by the last set of dotted lines in each graph, the growth rate of COVID 19 cases increases in all 6 states. The effect is apparent but less pronounced in Bihar. It may be due to the low testing rates in Bihar in May and June. Therefore, the ITS models reveal a spurt in all the 6 states, coinciding with the launching of Shramik trains. And this trend was definitely aggravated by Unlock 2. So there was definitely some kind of relationship between introduction of Shramik trains and the change in the spatial distribution of the pandemic. Next, we move on to the third hypothesis that incidence of COVID 19 active cases is higher in districts with high outmigration rates. For this purpose, the correlation between three migration indicators and the incidence of COVID 19 was found. We observe that there is a positive correlation between all the three migration indicators and active cases per million. In fact, all the correlations were significant at the 5% level of significance. Also, this correlation increases over time. Note that the correlation indicates association and not causation. To get a more concrete idea about the correlation, we have used multi-level models. The data sets used in this study have a hierarchical structure such that the COVID-19 cases are clustered within districts, which are in turn clustered within states. The states may also be clustered within the geographical regions. Hence, using normal econometric models like linear regression would not give robust results. The multi-level models are estimated for 3 dates, with beginning of May, beginning of July, and beginning of August, and the results of the three compared. The number of active cases per million is regressed on 1 month lagged values of the dependent variable and on migrant, which is the percentage of households with at least one migrant for economic reason. We also have control variables in our regression with PLIT, percentage of literates to total population, ASHA, percentage of villages with accredited social health activists in district, and distance, mean distance of villages from town weighted by female population. Next, if we see the results of this regression, it is very apparent that at all points of time, past incidence of active COVID-19 cases is an important determinant of current active cases. This may indicate the presence of community transmission. The coefficient of migration, which is very important, are positive in all three models. In May, however, the coefficient is statistically insignificant, and in subsequent models, the coefficient is significant at least at the 5% level. Further, migration effect seems to become stronger over time, increasing from 4.81 in July to 7.04 in August. To check the robustness of the results, we have added another level to create a three-level structure. What is interesting is that the results are identical, with the impact of migration only becoming stronger over time. Next, we use the geographically weighted regression or the GWR models. This enables us to take into account varying impact of variables across districts. So here, once again, we regress active cases per million on migrant, PLIT, ASHA, and distance. The model is estimated using data for May, July, and August. In May, coefficient for migrant is high in the states of Punjab, Haryana, Gujarat, Rajasthan, Western Uttar Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, South Bengal, and Jharkhand. Note that the coefficient for migrant is not high in most of the eastern and northeastern regions. For July, migration exerts a stronger effect on active cases. High coefficients are observed in Gujarat, Rajasthan, and South India, except Kerala. In Bengal belt, however, the cluster seems to shrink. High coefficient values are observed in almost entire northeastern region. In August, high coefficients of migrants are observed along eastern coast starting from West Bengal and continuing up to Tamil Nadu. It is also high in Gujarat, Maharashtra, Karnataka, Telangana, Andhra Pradesh, Western Uttar Pradesh, and Madhya Pradesh. This may be possibly due to a third round of migration, which is the reverse migration, with migrants returning to their places of work as factories reopen. So, our objective was to see whether reverse migration has changed spatial distribution of active COVID 19 cases over time. And all the three research hypotheses could not be rejected, and in fact, they were accepted. COVID 19 initially flared up in northern and western parts of India. After May, however, after the introduction of Shramik trains, the epicenters changed, and southern, eastern, and northeastern states, in particular, witnessed spike in COVID 19 cases. States with high outmigration rates exhibited high incidence of COVID 19 active cases. So, the strength of linkage between migration and COVID 19 cases only increased over time, particularly in states like Bihar, Orissa, Assam, and Jharkhand. Thank you.